strong fan of a big fan of the Swiss startup ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. So that was a big factor for you to build the company.
I think I'm pretty sure. I mean, the fact that I grew up in Switzerland, and the fact that we are, when people ask me, how could you take this risk? And you're like, I got my education from one of the best schools in the world. I'm living in Switzerland on a scale 1 to 10, and 10 is I'm under the bridge and my family kicks me out of the house, and I'm gonna die in 2 days. I never went beyond 4, and that was probably when I was driving my car too tired or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So clearly, the fact that I'm in Switzerland plays a very important role in being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Okay. And also for your investors were mainly Swiss, probably as well, or did you also have foreign investors? Okay. And
a lot of but for them, I think Switzerland is a very attractive market.
Yeah. That's good to know as well from both sides.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah.
So clearly, I mean, one of them is in an industry family. Like they're Austrian originally, but they started their company in the 60s in Switzerland.
Okay.
So clearly there is a strong connection to Switzerland, and the other one is an Austrian entrepreneur and investor who focuses on Austria, Switzerland, and Germany.
Okay. Yeah.
And clearly Switzerland is
very attractive.
Yeah, it's very attractive.
Investors. Okay. Good.
The stage of the firm. So stage being at the development stage.
Exactly.
Of the company, right?
So you said you're not early stage anymore, and I guess that goes with company age a bit.
Correct.
It's probably the same.
So that's also very important.
Yeah, exactly.
Because clearly, to my knowledge, none of these new investors invest in early stage.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that the investment stage, meaning that it's your first round, that it was maybe harder for you? Well, you said it wasn't really hard to get the money, right? So investment stage in your case wouldn't be a critical factor for the valuation, that you only had the seed round before didn't really affect.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I do feel that it's that like if we don't meet a certain amount of milestones, then the next round will be
Okay, difficult. So it could have an impact in the future. Okay.
Exactly.
So from 1 to 5, how would you rate it?
It's the most difficult until now.
Yeah.
But so tell me how is this different from the stage of the firm? Actually, I struggle with the differentiation.
Well, I was just thinking that the stage of the firm could be that it's. Some firms have many but small investment rounds.
Okay.
And then they might have a bit more experience with and stage of the firm. A company can be really long early stage, but then grow really fast.
Yeah.
So it's very different. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
But it can be very similar. I don't know.
I would say like that. The fact that we didn't have taken up any money for a long period of time plays an important role, because one, it shows that you're careful with your cash.
Exactly. Yeah.
That you spend kind of as smart as possible.
Exactly.
And two, it shows also that we don't have this philosophy of raising the next round, 2 days after we've closed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I would say it's a 4 still.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
important.
Good. And then product market is maybe what we talked about the industry. So you said the market your product is in is not very big here in Switzerland. So
that's right.
That must drive the valuation of the company up. Or what is your opinion on that?
So, if you compare one thing, so we are considered, people put us in the clean tech sector or whatever. I think the best. Actually, your dad told me that was an eye opener for me. He said, "No, you're actually an industrial high tech case," which I'd never heard of before. Yeah. So, and I like that very much, and it makes, for certain investors, it makes us very attractive because they're after these things, because they have burned their fingers with, maybe pharma and biotech, blah, blah. Everybody knows that we're not going to be Facebook in terms of, we're not going to boom and explode and be a 500 million company or whatever. So we have this physical product. We're in an industry environment. We think more in cycles of 10 years than in 5 years, just because we need to build a supply chain, we need to build production, all of that. And we go into markets with high inertia, which is not very attractive to start, but once you're in the automotive sector, you supply into 7-year programs,
and in big masses.
Exactly. So I think it makes it is a tool for making a very early stage selection. You know, I met investors who told me, you know, who started talking about exit within 3-4 years, and I was like, guys, we want to enter the automotive markets. They tell us that, you know, the earliest we're going to be in 2022 in a car, in a BMW. So there's no match. So in terms of it's a tough one. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you? So you can put it in different sides. Then if you look at the product itself, it's not because it's industrial high tech. Yeah. We don't have massive margins, you know.
No,
we have to scale and everything.
But I would say, from what you said, it's probably rather a high, probably also around
a 4.
I guess
I put a 4.
I would. And then the product life cycle. I mean, as you said, you have long development phases, but once you're in, then
yes. Typically, I can give you a concrete example. So our first product was a ski core. It's gone. We had the ski core standing here.
Yeah.
It goes into these skis. So we sell to ski factories. It's what's inside the ski.
Exactly.
And we make it exactly. Yeah. And we now feel now we're just launching the second generation because after 6 years we feel that the cycle is kind of, and that's sports and leisure. Sports and leisure is very fast.
Okay.
Kind of. So.
So in this case, it's different because you have two products, or you're entering a new one, and you're having one that is maybe a bit more mature.
Yeah, that's right.
So maybe that's a difficult one.
Yeah.
But but probably for your last round, having the potential to enter the automotive industry, that was a big factor.
That's super important.
Yeah. Exactly. So that you were in this really early phase of the product.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have a product that you. I mean, I heard the potential is huge, not only for automotive industry, also for other industries.
Correct. Yeah.
So probably.
So once the potential investor has understood and accepted that, it's a longer story. Then I think it's attractive. You know.
Yeah.
And if people are out for quick exits, then
maybe not.
We end the discussion very quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
IP plays a very important role.
Yeah.
Because again, it's industrial high tech, and people know that, you know, if now we just signed with Porsche Motorsports, and the day Porsche goes out with a car and we communicate on it, you know, it's gonna be schlafen die Hunde wecken. So it's very important we have a strong IP portfolio.
Yeah, I agree.
Management skills. It's also very interesting. One of the investors actually who then came on board, when he read our profiles, he said, "Ooh, it's too much PhD, you know, too much techie people."
Okay.
And then when they met us, they understood that I was the storyteller person and that Julien is the hardcore engineer, you know, in another league engineer than I am. And then from there on, but then they still said, so I think so. Number one, it is very important. They felt also meeting the team that we have a very healthy business culture, which also is important to them. But they said we want to see backups, like more and more. Like it's too much depending on the co-founders right now. So you know, so they want to, and not because, you know, nobody's talking about kicking me out, or not that I'm aware of, but
just have other people
if something happens to me, it's the company still was back then still too fragile. So we hire people also now. Yeah, okay, I see. With this kind of in mind. So I would say very important. Yes. So in the human factor, like the team, if this is team for you,
it is. It goes to team.
Then it's a 5. Yes.
Yeah. And the number of founders. I mean, I just heard that for some people, apparently, when they were looking for investors, it was a problem when it was only one founder. And in your case, you were several founders. Was that an advantage or a disadvantage? You can say that.
I started. So we are 4. I mean, we still are. We are 4 co-founders, and I don't think that was ever perceived as a problem. However, for the 5 first years, we were 2 co-CEOs, and that polarizes very strongly. Okay. You know, people say, you know, but it's, you know, Google built a company like this, and others say that has never worked, and blah blah. Okay. Yeah. For us, it has worked for 5 years, but it is also true that 5 years was enough, and then we had, you know, our visions clearly differed. And then we had to
So it was not really.
I don't think so.